Here.
Oh, it looks like the fog lifted a little bit, at least out at the beach.
Better. Really, a little choppy out there, though.
It is.
But it does look better than this morning.
Did you have fog coming in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really ugly.
I did
and then walked outside. It's that weather that it almost feels like it's misty, like it's almost raining outside.
And at least at the beach yesterday, it just didn't let up.
No, we got little breaks of sun in
Did
St.
you?
Johns County, but nothing that stayed with us long.
I'm over it.
I am too, but it's okay.
And
We're
it's not even winter. What's today, the 17th? Winter officially sets in on the 21st.
Ah, yeah. Tomorrow's not going to be good either because we're actually going to get some rain.
Are we?
Mm-hmm. You didn't hear that this morning in all the forecast.
I do know.
That's not nice.
So are you guys, you're kind of staying home for the holidays. And I'm going to be here for Christmas too.
Right.
But for people traveling, it is going to be a nightmare. And I guess right before Christmas?
Yeah, that's when it's
like the 22nd, I think, is the busiest.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday's going to be the busiest. We're having a party on Sunday, so all people have to do is travel to our house. People? We are not charging them. But they are being
That's in the Christmas spirit.
They're supposed to bring something, and if they don't bring anything, then I'll buy it if they give me money.
But AAA expects a lot of people to travel.
90% of travelers will drive more than 50 miles. And that's, on the roads, but also a lot of people flying as well, too. It's up 3%.
7 million people.
Yeah. I mean, we said the same thing at Thanksgiving, right? That it was up and more people were going to be traveling. And it didn't seem like it was too bad. Now, I will tell you, because we didn't travel on Thanksgiving either, but the roads, like 95, around like that rest area there in St. Johns County, the traffic was really backed up for that whole weekend.
Right, and if I remember my projections right, they were saying that the 28th, which is right before New Year's Eve,
is the busiest.
Down around like Fort Lauderdale, and that area is going to be just congested as can be. It doesn't matter if you take 95 or you take the Turnpike. When you go through that South Florida corridor, it's just really bad.
So pack your patience, friends.
And have you noticed that all of a sudden gasoline had been down around, $2.80 a gallon, and it spiked again. It's back up around $3.14.
It's the supply and demand, baby. So you know how it goes. It does always appear when we need more gas, the prices go up. Right. So they've jumped 6 cents just over the last week. Gallon of regular, on average, is going to cost you $3.02.
But it's a little cheaper in Georgia. People go, why is that? Well, their gas taxes in Georgia are a little less.
Yeah.
So
Florida's more expensive, though. We're at $3.13 a gallon, which honestly in Jacksonville, it tends to run a little lower.
It does.
Fill up before you head out.
Yeah, definitely. And do that check too. Check your tire. That's the thing with the cooler weather. A lot of people who have tires.
That, didn't you?
I did, especially when we had that real cold spell.
Yeah, your tire
pressure went down, and it drove me nuts because I actually went around. So I've got a 4Runner. It's about a 5-year-old 4Runner, and I did all my tires, and the pressure gauge didn't go out. But I have a spare tire underneath the chassis.
Oh, that did.
And it was that. I had to crawl under the darn thing. Yes.
So everything else was fine except for that.
Except for the spare tire.
You filled it up?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because you didn't like that light on.
Well, I'm kind of OCD.
You are a little OCD. Because I would have been like, I think we're okay.
And it took me a while to figure it out.
Sure
so
it did.
I went through the whole thing where I reset the system. Because I went on YouTube and I'm like, what could it be? Okay, maybe I have to reset. No.
That's a good lesson, though, because I would never even think that your spare tire is being monitored that way.
And really, the only thing you can either lower it, or you can just get under there and
just put some air in it.
You would have loved to have seen that with me.
I'm really like having a moment where I'm picturing you like going. Probably took you like an hour to figure it out.
I'm at Wawa, and I'm underneath, and there were a ton of people who apparently had the same thing, and only one of the two pumps was working because you don't have to pay like $5 to fill up your air.
Is Wawa, they have free air?
They have free air.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
But I think that's the most absurd thing. And you get to a lot of these pumps and they don't work.
Oh, well, they have to maintain them.
Yeah.
That's why it's not free
I understand,
everywhere.
But still, but they charge you. It's like $1.25 or $1.50 now.
For air.
For air.
It doesn't. There's lots of hot air here.
All right, and when you're paying $1.50 for just air, and it's bad enough with gas prices. Everything is so expensive these days.
You just can't sleep.
I know.
And a new report supports that, saying a quarter of Floridians cannot sleep because of holiday debt, which we just talked about this, I believe it was just a couple of days ago, or maybe Friday or Monday, that more people are spending, and they're not really thinking about debt, but that's Generation what's the new generation? Z?
Z?
Yeah.
Yeah, what comes after Z?
Yeah, crazy.
So, Generation Z is not getting any Zs. But it's not just holiday debt. Wait till the credit cards come in January.
Mm-hmm, you really won't sleep.
Or those buy now, pay later things. You're like, ooh, I forgot to pay it.
We did a story today that more people are doing some of these things to try to save money, but you got to be so careful because you end up paying way more.
And that's what they count on.
Worth. Oh, they do. Yeah, they're not giving you money for free.
No.
There's a reason.
So family dynamics, 25% of people lose sleep because of that. You know, you get there, oh, it's going to be a fun family thing, and then somebody brings up politics or they bring up something else.
That is such a, I mean, we talked so much about that at Thanksgiving. That's so sad to me. And I almost wish that we could just be like, you should not come to my home.
Right.
We don't get along. Go somewhere else.
But then there's some people who don't have anybody to come to their home, and that's another
loneliness.
thing.
Loneliness is another one.
Gift
Holidays
expectations. People are sad. See, I've mentioned this before. I don't like to get gifts.
You said that, yeah. But
I'd rather give.
Does Christy give you something though? Does she always do something?
She does.
Yeah.
And
it's always perfect.
Well, it is.
Good.
Yes, it's
That's
always perfect.
Awesome.
But
so
I'm your typical dad. I mean, it's like, buy me underwear.
It's so boring. That's for your stocking. You can't wrap up underwear. That's just ignorant.
I don't know. But see, if I want something, I kind of get it.
Right, on your own. I mean, we're at that age now where it's like, I don't need you to buy me anything.
Right.
Well, I will say Tarek does a really good job at buying me things I wouldn't normally think to buy.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate like what he does get, because I'm like, I would never purchase that. But then I love it.
You know, but like, I think we talked about this before. I told my kids, I said, look, because we've got, Christy does because she's older. No, she's not. But I say that. But we've got 8 kids, or we've got 7 kids. That doesn't include the spouses.
Yeah,
8 grandkids and 1 more.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? We'll just give the kids gifts because it gets
expensive.
It gets expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't want gifts anyhow.
But if you're not sleeping because you're stressed out or you're in debt, there are a few things that you can do.
For crowded stores.
Yeah.
I did go to the town center once. Never again.
It was crazy.
Until after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the outlets though, which are probably just as crazy, but they're like the Nike outlets, Adidas, they have some great deals. And now my son is like, he actually said, Mom, you could get me clothes this year. And I'm like, all right,
nice.
That's easy.
Is he into the brands?
He's just not.
That's nice.
Gosh, he's just a sweet kid.
See, I remember when my kids were like, you know, I don't care about name brands, you know, in Walmart, Target was fine, but now when it's like.
Wait, real quick, we got to give the tips though for sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
In case you don't, and you've heard these for years because they don't really change. Stick to a sleep schedule. Have you ever heard limiting screen time? Have you ever heard of doing that?
Yeah. Create a relaxing wind down routine.
Can I share
so
mine?
what would that be? Yeah,
I got mine.
Go ahead.
So I love, you just go to YouTube on your television and you type in like relaxing scenes, and you can get like these AI generated houses with the snow outside and the fireplace and jazz music, and you can do a coffee shop or, you know, whatever you want, or it takes you around the world. And it is literally, my kids are like, Mommy, can we watch the scenes? And I'm like, yeah. And so last night we had one on and we just talked, and so that's starting to become, and now I'm reading to them again, which is interesting at 10 and 12.
And actually, I think we did this story yesterday. Now they've got the, you know, the fireplace thing, but it's with one of those movies where they have a competition and you die.
Oh, it was Squid Games.
Squid Games.
Yeah.
How is that relaxing?
Yeah, I don't know. And there's a new one coming out, which actually I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I love Squid Games, but I'm just saying that's not relaxing.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's so many options out there. So wind down routine is one of them, and then your sleep environment should be cool, quiet, and free from distractions. And then this is something that you honestly, you got to think ahead. You know, you're good at this.
I'm good at planning.
Tell us about that.
Plan and prioritize. Set realistic expectations.
Yeah, and I think thinking ahead, because it ends up being so stressful when you at the last minute you're trying to do all this stuff.
Right. And also, you know what? You know, if you want to travel, there's a really cool thing. If you go to YouTube, they've got cameras all around the world.
Exactly.
In this place to what you were talking about. They've got this really cool one. It's Norway, and they've got this train that goes all through the mountainside and stuff.
I'll have to look at that one.
And it's, I mean, it's
special. I'm telling you,
it is.
It is. Yeah.
And you see places that maybe you would never go.
And you definitely wouldn't see it from that vantage point.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool.
Let's skip this one and do it when Mark comes in after the break,
because
I think he might have a thing or two to say about it.
All right. And we have to do this one because I kind of said that we would. Becoming an influencer. It's an aspirational career choice, with more than half of Gen Zers wishing they could carve out employment on on their phones. But don't you get free stuff if you're an influencer and you've got a big following?
Yeah, you get money. They'll pay you. You get products. So, I mean, it's honestly not a bad gig. But what I like about this story is that they're teaching the skills, because I think people look at this stuff and they think it's just easy, or it's not produced, or it's no work. And so there's some universities, in fact, University of Alabama has a social media storytelling class that apparently is really popular.
Yes, and some students are learning on their path to be the next big thing on TikTok, if TikTok's still around, which, you know, there's a battle to see whether or not it's going to be banned, but President Trump is getting in the middle of that fight because he thinks that it should stick around. I won't get into that.
So anyway, one last point of this, a free 4-week course is available for one, and 10,000 influencer students were part of it. You know, my thing, I said this yesterday, my kids don't watch TV, but they watch YouTube. So it truly is the content that they're getting. And I mean, if it's produced well, I mean, I like to watch what they're watching, and some of it's a little crazy, but it's different. I mean, they're not watching sitcoms anymore.
No,
you know,
and there's some people who've got
stuff.
millions and millions of followers.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know how long they'll be relevant. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you age out.
It's always evolving.
Yeah, you age out of it, or at some point you got to get into something that is sustainable. But hey, it's not a bad thing.
You know what? If you can make money on it now, why not?
Do it.
All right. Speaking of making money, we'll make a couple of bucks, and then we'll be back with a look-see at your weather. Mark's over there.
I hope it's more than a couple bucks.
I hope so too, because typical family of 4 needs $150,000 just to pay the bills. Boy, nothing's typical anymore.
Mark is in the house. Perfect one to have this discussion.
Okay.
2024 is on track to be the hottest year on record.
Yeah.
And you've seen that trend.
Yeah, so November was the hottest, second hottest November compared to last year's.
Just last year,
Last year's November was the hottest.
So we're tracking to continue to go up.
So we're kind of on par for, you know, setting a new record for the whole planet. So, yeah.
What does that mean to you when you see numbers like that?
I love it.
Oh, okay.
I like the heat.
Yeah.
I wish the heat would return.
The heat causes problems, though. You know, there's a lot of industries that can't handle, you know, this type of weather. But hey, we're looking at a pretty warm week ahead until the weekend, when we're going to be real cold in the 50s. We're looking at fog burning off. There you can see the horizon now, something we couldn't see earlier in the day. And temperatures reaching the mid-70s this afternoon. Isolated showers to take you through the day. I think the real rains come in for tomorrow. In fact, let's show you the timeline. Notice how 20% chance of rain doesn't really show much here on the maps as far as green, which would be the rain. But tomorrow, we'll bring back the green coloring. As we head into Wednesday, we're going to have scattered showers develop in the afternoon, and then a pretty good coverage of that building back towards the coast in the evening. So tomorrow is your best shot for seeing rain, and then after that front comes in, we start cooling down a bit towards the end of the week, and then over the weekend a second front comes in, and that's where we're all going to be shivering in the 50s during the afternoon.
But on Christmas, you said it's going to be a little
70s.
warmer.
Yeah,
it's like,
so-
could that change? Is that like a cold Christmas?
Well, you got it this weekend, so
It's
you know,
not
as you're
Christmas.
out, you know, doing the last minute shop
Yeah.
and all that type of stuff, I feel very festive.
Good deal. Good to have you here.
All right.
All right, thanks, man. And you guys have a great day. We'll be back at noon with a look-see at what's going on in your world and an updated forecast as well. Take care.